All right, let's go. Let's get this thing smoking. Have a chance to flip the Supreme. What y'all talking about? Milwaukee County. Okay, what's going on with y'all, man? Yeah, what's the word with y'all? Monday. Yeah, no. The second week of Black History Month, second full week. We getting this thing started, so sticking with the theme at hand. I've been keeping it real black for y'all. Blackity black, black, black. Ooh. Man. So keeping the theme, sticking with it, How was y'all's weekend though? Oh shit. That was good already. How was y'all weekend? How everybody weekend go? Super Bowl. Eagles, man. I don't know what happened. I don't know what they did. I don't know why they did it. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. So, Eagles, man. I mean, it is what it is. Somebody gotta win. Somebody gotta lose. Somebody gotta win. Somebody gotta lose. Eagles lost. Okay. They lost. Y'all seen it. Y'all seen what happened. Um, Mahomes, you alright, dude. Your defense did a lot for you, bruh. You know what I'm saying? That D line. San Francisco. I mean, not San Francisco. I always say that and be thinking of Kansas City because of them colors. And I always be thinking about, yeah, I remember the Joe Montana football they used to, that everybody used to play for Sega. Yeah, that was before Madden. That just shows some of my age right there. If y'all remember the Joe Montana football before y'all remember the John Madden football, that's how far back I go. Okay, but nah, Joe. Look, I was finna say Joe Madden. Joe Montana football was dope though. You know. But yeah, I'm trying to stick with it. And I got some good ones for y'all today, man. Couple different things end up happening. We got some new info. Well, I don't know how new it is to y'all, because I've been hearing a couple people saying it, and I didn't this will be my first time really talking about it, because I'm not the type of person that like to get on with some rumors and lies. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, let me wait till I can confirm this. And so now I guess I got a little bit of confirmation on the story. But as it stand, they saying that the officer, at least one of the officers, knew Tyree Nichols ahead of time, and that he was getting pulled over for nothing. That's not new. But the severity of it and everything like that, it all had to do with some personal history they had. And so some breaking news developed about that situation. And I think it was an inside job. I'm not gonna go too much into it, because I'm gonna let that clip roll and we gonna talk about it. Another thing we gonna talk about is the music. Somebody actually requested that from me, you know what I'm saying? A good friend of mine. Talking about how music has changed. Like the music we listen to over the years, it's changed a lot. And excuse me. So like the music we listen to, it has a lot of influence on the way that we, conduct ourselves, the way we socialize with each other, the way we carry ourselves, and just overall, just it's the cornerstone of our culture. You know what I mean? And not just rap music, all different types of music, rap music, R&B music. I mean, jazz music is really black music. I mean, all types of music. Just that's one of our one of our things. You know, they say music is the language of the soul, and you know, we people who we had to. It took a lot of digging deep in our soul to make it through a lot of what we've been through in this country. Y'all remember that Warren G song that be like, you don't see what I see, and it was like at the beginning it'd be like America, it'd be like the blues are American, it'd be like American is apple pie, but the blues are American. But what makes the blues American? Why are the blues so at home here? Because America created the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because that's how it is. You know, they sit up and they pretty much facilitated like America make everything the way it is, and the music is affected by the country, the state of the country, and vice versa. They synonymous. I mean, what's the word? Symbiotic, I guess, is the word I'm looking for, or something like that. So it's like vice versa. And so we looking at, somebody wanted me to look at the music and see how the music changed to really look at how the people changed. And I actually found a good clip that kind of personified that, you know, that change that we've been seeing and everything like that. Cause man, we grew up on some different shit, right? And even the clip I'm showing y'all is from earlier. So even what I'm gonna show y'all in the clip, I'm gonna use a rapper from a group in the 2000s, and I'm gonna show y'all how much things have changed from then to now. But that was around the start of when music really started to have that change that I think got set into the culture, and people tried to like bake it into there. I'm gonna explain it a little bit further as you know when we get into it. So I really want to talk about that though, how the music we make, you know, and the music we make, the music we listen to, all that affect our culture, right? Black culture, you know. We gotta talk about it, okay? But then the last thing, man, this mother, if that's what you want to call her, you know, she abandoned her kids. She abandoned her 2 kids. She was young, you know, she didn't abandon her kids. She didn't look like she had mental health issues, although I do believe, and not even saying this as no excuse, but when you get to the point of negligence like that, that's definitely a mental health issue. Ricky Williams in the building. What's going on? The winning team representing. You know what I'm saying? My brother Rick, what's the word with you, pimp? So when you get to the point where you neglectful like that of your own seed, it is some type of mental issue right there. Whether you been diagnosed or not. Because for something to come from you, look like you, love you, and all that, and you to just abandon it, what are you chasing? What is it? It gotta be drugs, you know what I mean? Or it gotta just be a severe level of, you know, like malignant type of like narcissism and like personality disorder type shit. Yeah, I could cuss type shit, you know?
Bitch, what is your marriage?
So yeah, we gonna have to ask her that
Bitch, what is your marriage?
when we look at this clip, because that's the one that really made me mad, and you know, it's gonna do the same to y'all too. But before we get into that, y'all already know what time it is. First off, I like to say, if you ain't subscribed to the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. My goal, I'm trying to hit a subscriber goal of 1,000 subs by the end of the year. And I'm at 437 right now. And especially, and I could say this, and I keep it all the way 100 with y'all. During my topics that I would do on Black history and stuff like that, I done got some hate mail, and I done had some people, you know what I'm saying, like that was subscribed like for whatever, like might have subscribed for my boxing content, unsubscribed because of some of my stances on other things socially or whatever. But I'm gonna say this once, and I'm gonna say this for all. I'm gonna say this once, and I'm gonna say it I'm gonna say it once and for all people. You know what I mean? Man, this is a black channel. I'm black. Look at me. Do y'all see this shit? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some black shit getting discussed on here from a black perspective. You gonna hear the sin say.
What is your marriage?
You gonna hear him say.
You too old, bitch, to be acting like that.
And you also gonna hear him say.
Come on, man. Knock that shit out, man.
And you gonna hear a lot of stuff that I say, man, that it's gonna hit home with you. I try to talk to my people the same way I would talk to them if we was all in a room, kicking it, chopping it up. You know what I'm saying? So for a lot of y'all that's looking for some, okay, and here we have, and the next thing, and oh my God, like, no, I'm giving y'all the shit. I'm telling y'all what's going on. You know what I'm saying? What's important, how I feel about it. You know what I mean? I ain't doing too much like, so my thing is this, and I always feel like it's dope. The only thing that I really, really can appreciate about YouTube is, you know, that you get a platform to broadcast to everybody. But the thing that make it worth it is if you doing it your way, though. You know what I mean? For me, I'm not about my channel necessarily getting real big because I'm doing some shit that appeal to everybody. Cause everything ain't for every fucking body. You know what I'm saying? But the people that could appreciate what I'm doing, if I could reach them and reach enough of them and get enough subs, I'm good. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you don't like hearing about some black shit, because I know some of y'all think anything that's black and positive is woke. Oh, that's woke. Oh, he's going woke. But anything that's black and negative is lit. You know what I'm saying? And it's keeping it real and all that shit. So I know some of y'all going, you know, tune y'all ass out. And by all means, tune the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey, what's going on? The AP. The accountability partner, I like that name right there. We all need one of them on what? We sure do on my life, especially as a, like I'm talking about as a people right now. Am I my brother's keeper? Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna chop it up, man. Some people gonna love it, some people gonna hate it, but at the end of the day, man, you know, it's like steel sharpen steel, man sharpen man. We gonna make sure we keep each other sharp out here. You know what I'm saying? And with that said, you know, we got to get into this music, and then we gonna get this thing started. Y'all already know how I do. Get these analyticals going. Shout out to all the new viewers. Shout out to all the returning viewers. Let's go.
Marley Hall traveled to Milwaukee, a city known as Pimp School, and talked to people who are trying to break that cycle.
Police in Milwaukee have more than 200 pimps on their radar, but few resources.
Milwaukee pimps describe pimp roundtables where they get together and share best practices and advice and tips on how to evade law enforcement. So it's very, very sophisticated.
And how did Milwaukee end up becoming kind of this hotbed?
Every girl can generate about $500,000 a year for any given pimp, and most pimps have 4 to 6 women or girls in their so-called stable.
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
question we all gotta ask ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I know me. Who are you? Yeah, yeah. Keeping it pippin' and Mac world. What's going on with y'all? Let's get this thing going. All right, so first and foremost, we gotta talk about this one girl, man. Cause she abandoned. No, matter of fact, you know what? Let's scratch that. Salute Mike Biggs in the building. Man, I got the hit squad in here today. Salute to everybody, man. Let's get this Monday going, y'all. I mean, I'm talking about I watched the Super Bowl. You know, I'm gonna give y'all a little background for some of the people, you know, that don't really know too much about me. Like, I went to school, I was an Africology major, and that's a political science. So when it comes to stuff like, you know, Black History Month, on top of that, my mom is literally from Africa. My mom is from East Africa. My dad is from Chicago, you know what I'm saying, by way of Alabama. My mom is from Kenya, East Africa, you know. So when it get to these black topics, man, I came to America, like when we first came over here, because when we was kids, we lived in Africa. You know, I came over here, we had to fight. Like we got bullied by the kids in the projects. We was African booty scratchers. I got left in the oven too long. Hold on, let me think. All right, so check it out. When I smile, they used to say, you know, when I play hide and seek, if I smile you smile in the dark, all they see is your teeth and your eyes or whatever. Ha, ha, ha. Right? I was left in the oven too long. I was a African booty scratcher. Did I live in a hut? You know what I'm saying? Did I eat zebra chops? I always felt zebra chops was funny. You know, then people be like, hey, what's, you know, you from whatever, you ever from whatever. Then, and make like clicking noises at you and all that type of shit, right? So I definitely feel like, okay, I know how it feel to be an outcast amongst my own black people. I know how that shit feel. I used to say pencil, right? And they used to be like, pencil, and they would laugh at me and shit like,
Come on, man. Knock that shit out, man.
you know what? I had to teach myself to say pencil. I was like, can I get a pencil? It's like, I'm like, hey y'all, he want a pencil. Like I had to teach myself to say pencil. You know what I'm saying? I used to say wrestling. You know what I'm saying? I thought niggas was wrestling. Clearly it's WRESTLING, wrestling, right? Hell no, that shit wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to wrestle, but these, you know what I'm saying, little jits wanted to wrestle. You know what I mean? So I know how it feel. I'm talking about, I came over here, everywhere else in the world, they like soccer. You know what I'm saying? So coming from over there, we like soccer. I had my socks pulled up to my knees. I had a soccer ball. Man, we got chased. They was taking our soccer ball and shit.
Come on, man. Knock that shit out, man.
Knock that shit off, America. Why y'all do us like that? Coming to America, it wasn't like the movie Coming to America, man. Folks, like, you know, and obviously we wasn't no bad kids, none of that. You know what I'm saying? But people looked at us as being different and used that as an opportunity to get, like, you know, take out some of their frustrations on somebody that they felt like they could look down on or like whatever, it's the nature of people. And like on the flip side, I think a lot of Africans, they come here and they experience that, especially some that haven't grown up here. And so they tend to have this barrier with, black people, black people. I forgot what dude called, I think it's called them like foundational black Americans or something like that. Like, black people that's born, as we know, have been born here like descendants of slavery or whatever, right? He said, take your soccer ball and play kickball with it. Hey, we had that bouncy ass red ball for that, you know what I'm saying? But you couldn't get in the kickball game when they want to jump you and all that for, being an African booty scratch. So it was like, everything all evened out. I'm gonna say this, and this is what I'm gonna get to as I go into my clips, right? The thing about it is, a lot of times it just takes for people to really accept you. A lot of the stuff that people didn't accept, people were really interested in the end. And, it was like those same barriers were some of the things that end up making you more friends or making people more interested in you. And when they get to these topics about black people, me being on the outside, in a sense, I get passionate about it. And then me being on the inside, I get passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like coming from both sides. Because it was some of my African family that I had to tell, they'll straight jump on some sellout vibes or whatever. Like a lot of my African side of my family, they got money, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I'd be like, nah, man, y'all got it a little easy because y'all didn't have to deal with the crack epidemic from the 80s. A lot of psychological shit that black Americans had to deal with. Y'all come over here and white folks don't treat y'all the same because they look at y'all different. They don't really know what stereo. Who the fuck is that? Negative stereotypes to really stick to you yet, like they have been taught all their life about black people. So you get a little bit of a pass. They see you as being a little bit exotic. You know what I'm saying? And they give you a little bit of a pass or whatever. So they can't I don't let them get down like on black people, like, oh, black people just this and that. Like, no, they done been through a lot, So I get passionate about this shit, man. And a lot of people not here for that, I do a lot of funny, shit like that. And I try to keep it a little lighthearted. But at the same time, a lot of shit don't necessarily, you gotta try to get some humor out of it because ain't shit funny. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't be funny. So and some of that stuff is what we got to talk about, And on that, I'm gonna talk about this Tyree Nichols, and the reason I want to start out talking about that is because, as y'all know, that was black officers that did it. But what I'm finding out now is they talking about it might have even been like an inside job or something like that. So let's check that out, y'all. Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
The killing of Tyree Nichols, the killing of Tyree Nichols. Now, we know one of the officers charged with his murder texted 5 or 6 individuals the picture of Tyree Nichols as he was laying there in front of him.
That's fucked up.
If this was premeditated, I'm going to get to the bottom of some of the rumor mill and also provide context as to why questions loom. Let's do it this way. Put up the pictures full mass. This is a damn shame. Per this week's newly released documents, former officer Demetrius Haley, who was driving an unmarked car, wearing a black hoodie and also talking on his cell phone, forced Tyree Nichols from his car using profanity and then pepper sprayed him in the eyes.
So right there, right away, look. All right, check it out. Let's go. Let's talk about that real quick. The police force you out your car. They in an unmarked car. They wearing all black. They force you out and pepper spray you right away. Right away, they know that's like a violation. This the escalation of a situation. You get pepper spray cartridges and you have to account for them when you discharge. So right away they knew they had to go all the way, or they knew what they were starting had to have an ending point that involved violence because they had to justify the pepper spray. So that right there just let you know. Let me see what the AP say. He say can't accept our own people. Yeah, yep. I mean, you know how it is though, AP. It's like we was put under that Willie Lynch doctrine, man. So much divide and conquer. You know what I'm saying? They said this is the way you control them. They said you separate the light from the dark, the man from the women, the young from the old. That's called the Willie Lynch doctrine for those of y'all getting, tuning in and don't know y'all history, or either don't know nothing about black history. And that was basically a doctrine that said you can't control the slaves by beating them and killing them because they too valuable as property. They had too much output. So we have to figure out a way to get them to hold themselves down. The slavery has to be mental. So they came up with divide and conquer, which was the Willie Lynch doctrine. And so as we look at this screen right here, you see two black men, and the only difference is one got a suit on from his job interview and the other one got a badge on. So it's like the Cowardly Lion in the Wizard of Oz. He's an official now. He don't, you know what? He don't see himself as black. He's a blue life now. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the shit work. You know what I'm saying?
Hell the fuck no.
Shit crazy. Let's go.
Additionally, Officer Haley never explained why Nichols was being stopped, why he pulled him over, nor that Nichols was under arrest and his body cam wasn't even on. So let me pause on this moment. They do have a mandate, a policy, to have their body cameras working, okay? The Scorpion unit has that as a protocol mandate. They also have a protocol mandate to report other officers who engage in criminal activity. That did not happen either. There's another dynamic here worth noting. The day we
this the crazy part. Check this out.
Report called the narrative. The day we received that, it told us that they actually engaged and observed Mr. Nichols the day before, recklessly driving. And that was the reason they decided to engage him on that particular night. Why did they say this?
Man, this is, and I stopped it right there, right when they was finished. Rashad Richie, shout out the dude, man. He cut his mustache right on that top lip to let y'all know he fucking serious. He don't want nobody to think nothing he's saying ain't astute. You hear me? But nah, it's so crazy because it's like what he finna say and what he's saying right now. They said they pulled him over, or they seen him driving reckless the day before, and that's why they did what they did. But see, the thing about it is this though. Seeing somebody driving reckless is different. That's, first of all, that's not a violent crime. It's not even really a crime. It's more like a moving violation. So to say, okay, we seen him driving reckless, so that's why we pulled him over and beat him to death. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. But he's telling you why they even made up that fuck. Like when somebody say some shit like that, right away I'll be like, this story fucking stinks, but go on. You know what I'm saying? But he finna tell y'all why they told that stinky story though.
On that particular night. Why did they say this? They said this in order to create a false narrative so that adverse contact would be justified, because they knew nothing he did that day would justify their contact. Even the police chief went on national news and said, we do not see any reason that he was pulled over. Nothing in the prerequisite to pull him over. There's more. In the newly released documents, police officials say Mr. Haley is sending a photograph of Mr. Nichols to at least 5 people, including 2.
Now this real tripped out right here. So you can't even, damn, it's like the police just don't care, right? So they whooped his ass and then they took pictures of it. They was taking pictures, sending them to people. They sending them to other officers. It say 2 other officers, a civilian employee and a female acquaintance. So we texting chicks that he know, but it get deeper, get a little bit deeper though. Let's go. I ain't even gonna go into it. Let's go.
Civilian employee of the department and a female acquaintance. A sixth person also received the photo, the records state. Prior to releasing documents confirming Officer Haley took photos, speculation rose among people online questioning if one of the officers indeed took photos. Now, other people are beginning to draw unconfirmed connections between Officer Haley, Nichols, and one of the recipients of the photos. Now, why are people drawing conclusions? They're drawing conclusions because there's a lack of transparency. Remember when the chief came out and said they were going to be transparent with us? Well, we're finding these things out through open records requests. No one is coming to a press conference saying, hey, here's everything up front, here's all the information, and we're being transparent. No, we're finding out about it after the fact through other means. Now,
So I'm gonna stop it right there for a little second. All this stuff is coming out. What this is called, what he talking about right now, it's called interdepartmental corruption. That's when you hear them talk about abolishing the police, that's what they talking about, because imagine the police operating like independent contractors that just get federal grants, right? So once they get that federal grant money, then they pretty much can do what they want from there. They come up with their own protocols. They do their own internal investigations. You done heard plenty of times, we investigated ourselves and we determined we did nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? So when they talk about that, that's really what they talking about. Defunding the police in that sense. They need some oversight. And what he talking about when he's saying, they had to find out info through open records requests and all that type of shit, dealing with the police department, and they not forthcoming about nothing. That's another thing they call the blue wall of silence. So let's put two things together. The gangs they have don't snitch, you know what I'm saying? No snitching, no lying and shit. Stop snitching, stop telling, whatever. And then the police, they have blue wall of silence, which is basically stop snitching or no snitching. They both carry guns. They both have loyalty. They both run up on people in packs. You know what I mean? Really, the police in light of not having their first priority be to serve and protect, but still having guns, badges, and adverse personality hires, they are pretty much a gang at this point. I'm just put it out there like that. I don't know if we got some law enforcement groupies out here, just whatever, but it's a lot of police crime on the rise. And I was thinking about doing a whole section of my channel for that, to just strictly cover police crime, to really put a face on it and really give a name to it. Okay, we got regular crime, then we got police crime, because they're doing crime while on duty, and the cover of it is policing, but it's crime, it's criminal shit. I always like to put it like this: if I rob a store if I rob a store, it's a crime, right? So if I rob a store in a police uniform, should it still be a crime or not? Yeah, it's still a crime. Let's say I steal something, I go rob a bank, or no, let's say I assault somebody or something like that, and that's too close. That's hitting a little too close to home. So I'm trying to think of another crime, and I don't want to use the R or nothing like that, So let's just say I commit sexual assault or something like that, right? But I do it in uniform. Is that police work? You know what I'm saying? So you got to ask yourself, why should they not be tried when they kill people, when they commit murder? I kill somebody, I shoot somebody in the back. I shoot somebody in cold blood when they didn't have nothing on them, no weapon on them, right? And when I don't got a uniform on, it's murder, you know what I mean? But when I put a uniform on, now it becomes police work.
Come on, man. Knock that shit out, man.
So it's going to have to be some accountability, and that's really what we're seeing that's deeper than just the whole Tyree Nichols situation. You know what I mean? It go across all police departments. Let me see what Ricky had to say. He said he was hitting the cops' baby moms. Yup. The girl that they said he was talking about. Yup, Ricky, you already on it, bro. I already know. See, shout out to the chat, man. You know, I like having, man, folks in my chat that I know is intelligent, because they, you know, they gonna tell you how it is too.
By way,
So check this out.
Facebook. Turns out Tyree Nichols worked at FedEx, and Demetrius Haley's ex and mother of his child worked at FedEx. Demetrius took a picture of Tyree on the ground and sent it to his ex. All the officers involved went out bad over this man's personal issue. I saw that post as well.
Wow. Y'all hear that shit? So that's what I'm talking about, man. It be getting deep. You know what I'm saying? Shit get deep. It's like crime, like straight up crime. They like, I don't like somebody hit my baby mama, whatever. Okay, I don't like it. So let me see. How could I get at him? Okay, I'm gonna wait till I'm on duty, and then I'm gonna pepper spray him. We gonna beat him. We gonna chase him down. We gonna beat him to death. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do it under the guise of police work, you know. But if you look around, let's take away the fact that these are black officers, and when it all come down to it, black officers don't get away with the same stuff as their white counterparts. But let's take into accountability, you know what I'm saying, that beyond them suffering those consequences because they don't got the complexion for the protection, that they felt comfortable doing that. Outside of the accountability they suffered, and they probably just went overboard whooping them and all that. You know what I'm saying? They felt comfortable doing it. And it's just so crazy, you know. The reason they felt comfortable doing it is, first of all, I want to say that shit is fucked up. Let me see what AP had to say. He say, then change the terminology. Words mean something. Yep, they just that. Private contractors for the city. And then he say, I agree on the point. Yeah, type shit. I appreciate that. Yeah. Shout out to AP. Yeah, it's crazy, man. We all see it, but it's always different, you know, when we identify that shit. And that's just what I aim to do at the end of the day. You know, accountability gonna go a long way, and a lot seem like it's gonna get worse before it get better. But yeah, man, they need some shit done, and it's just a lot going on where they feel comfortable. Whether they hire, because you see this happen with, and I'm gonna say this before, and it tie into my next clip, right? You don't just see this with, you see this with a lot of minorities when they become police officers. Do y'all remember as an Asian dude involved in the George Floyd situation? You know what I'm saying? You see a lot of Hispanic officers involved in these type of brutality situations. They want to prove themselves. You know what I'm saying? They want to. I talked about that on the stream the other day. How some people benefit from upholding white supremacy that ain't white. If you ain't, you know, check the live stream out from Friday, go check it out. That's the one I think really got ruffled a couple feathers. That's like, gosh darn it. You know what I'm saying? But nah, we gonna talk some real shit around this motherfucker. Yeah. And that tie into my next clip. A lot of it plays off of our image. You know what I mean? A lot of the way they treat us is premeditated on our image preceding us. They want to be able to say, he had his cell phone, but I thought it was a gun, just by being on some, yeah, y'all see how the black guys are always with their guns and they're, he was like this, he was like that. It's always quick to say somebody was a thug. You remember even with Trayvon Martin, he couldn't, you know, a lot of tech people wear hoodies, but Trayvon Martin's hoodie wasn't a tech hoodie. He couldn't have been a little kid who wanted to work on computers or something like that. No, his hoodie was a thug hoodie. You know what I mean? It's like they try to let our image precede us like that. And we have to really be mindful of that. A lot of reparations, you know, if we really going off of that root word and we talking about repairs and what we need to repair, we need to repair our image. You know what I'm saying? And so that brings me to my next clip. And I wanted to talk about, this was something actually requested, not this particular clip, this particular clip. GD looking at this particular clip. You know what I'm saying? The topic about the way the music affect everything. And yeah, it's a mental thing. I swear to God, Rick, it's a mental thing. And you know, so the way the music and everything, our music is a major part of our image. A lot of what they are only willing to engage us on is our talent, meaning our music, our, you know, and namely our music, because that's more of a social thing than our sports abilities and stuff like that. But they will engage you on your athleticism and shit like that too. It's a whole movie called Get Out about it. I'm not gonna go into that one. You know what I'm saying? And so that brings me to this clip where, you know, we talking about how the music changed, and the reason it changed, and I'm gonna cook on it before I play the clip, because I wanted to use this rapper as an example in this particular clip as an example. It's called Stunted Growth. The channel is Stunted Growth. Shout out to Stunted Growth Music. And they talk about how this rapper Jody Breeze was supposed to be next up, but he came out kind of in the era, at the end of an era where, or I want to say like kind of like the start of it. He came in at the end of an era and the start of another era. He came in at the end of like, I want to say like a gangster rap type of era where it was just a lot of tough guy rapping. Y'all remember Screw Faces? Remember who remember making Screw Faces and shit? Y'all remember like having a screw face, like niggas screw face rapping all in the screen? Remember chains that used to be choke chains? They used to be 40-inch bangles banging on tables and all that, right? So he came in kind of on the end of that era, and a lot of it is like, you know, the image that he was leaning on. This is the best way to put it. We had an era where a lot of dudes, at first it was like the 90s was like, okay, check my rapping skills out. Even when it was like we started to get into the gangster rap or whatever, people still leaned on like music and like I'm a rapper, and it was like you wanted to be a rapper. Then it got to this certain point where nobody wanted to be a rapper flat out or say like, yeah, I'm rapping because I'm a fucking rapper. Everybody wanted to be like, oh, I ain't really a rapper. I'm from the streets. You know what I'm saying? So it got to that point, and that's kind of when the music took a turn for the worse. We got this shit called street cred. You know, I don't know if y'all know or not, but rap was around. It was a point in rap when it wasn't no shit called street cred. But he got caught up in that era, and that's what kind of got him where he at. And that's what affected the music.
Lastly, I think Jody was confused as to what was going on. Whether he ever realized what was at stake or not, time caught up, and soon no one really cared. Many rappers make the mistake of not understanding the power of the music industry and making music that could last a lifetime. Rappers from a certain place, referred to as the streets, that get into rap don't always realize or have a want to change the things that they do in the streets and take music seriously. Also, record companies have always supported street guys doing street actions, as it creates more controversy and in turn sells more albums. In that way, there's no urgent incentive for a rapper to place both feet in music.
So that right there, that singular point right there is what I'm kind of anchoring this thing on. And that's to the person, that shout out to, you know, my friend that asked me about this topic. Did you hear what he said? He said, when you are a street guy, or you consider yourself quote unquote a street guy, you are more predicated on your rep and things like that outside of music. So you never are fully incentivized to put both of your feet into music. You know, back in the days, if the thing was to start a band, I wanted to be the best drummer. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be the best guitar player. I wanted to be the best singer, the best crooner or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We had a little drill we was doing as a little band. I wanted us to have this, the smoothest, cleanest drill. But if I'm trying to play an image to where my image is that I'm just using music to tell y'all how fucking street I am, you know what I'm saying? Then I ain't finna make no good music like that. And people got stuck in that bubble. And it's never not gonna be entertaining to white people watching our downfall, you know what I'm saying, on our own hands. So that's how we can make good music about a variety of things. They don't give a shit, you know what I'm saying? They're just as entertained by us making music about nothing and oh bro, it's lit, bro. Like the things that they could like parody and talk about, you know what I'm saying? So that's what happened to the music, man. You know what I'm saying? Question, is every nigga with dreads for the cause? Is every nigga with gold for the fall? You know what I'm saying? That's an Andre 3000 quote. Think about that. Let's go.
To them, if they don't have the streets, then who are they? In watching Jody Bree's interviews, he always seemed concerned with making sure viewers understood he wasn't a rapper, but instead a street guy, which I never really personally understood. Knowing what I know, street guys don't want to be in the streets, much less let the world know they are.
Hey, do y'all hear this though? And shout out to the younger generation, man. JC, Stunning Growth Music, man. Shout out to you, man, because I think you a younger cat, and I don't even know if you American, but you just said some real shit right there, right? Listen, I'm gonna play back what he said, because this the era that we was raised in. I'm an 80s baby, so what he said, this is the era we was raised in. Check it out.
With making sure viewers understood he wasn't a rapper, but instead a street guy, which I never really personally understood. Knowing what I know, street guys don't want to be in the streets, much less let the world know they are. So him constantly saying that in interviews always seemed weird. But again, street artists understand that is most times what labels and also fans want to see and hear.
Bam, there it go right there. You know what I'm saying? So let me put it in a kind of a nutshell for you, you know, for my friend that was, you know, asked me about this topic and how the music changed. It got to a point, and me, I make music. I'm a producer. When y'all hear the beats and stuff that I have on my boxing videos, them all original beats and everything. You know what I'm saying? But it got to a point, at first, we had a lot of record labels in the 90s when rap was a baby, where we had a lot of independent labels like Relativity and, you know, even Cash Money when they were independent before they went to Universal. You know, you had like Priority Records, a lot of different record labels, because they didn't have a corporate interest in rap yet. And then eventually corporations got a hold to rap. And from there, it wasn't about, you know, anytime a corporation get a hold to something, I don't care if it's about video games. I don't give a fuck if it's about cereal. They're trying to maximize profits, and maximizing profits means coming up with a way to attach that the end user to that product or that service or just whatever. And, you know, so when they got into music, it wasn't about expression no more. Man, it got to a point to where I literally started to question. This was way back though, where I was like, damn, do they make songs anymore that they don't talk about brands, like a clothing brand in the song? Like every song, a clothing brand is mentioned, a car is mentioned. It's like rap got this shiny coat on it. You know what I'm saying? This glossy, shiny, fake coat that it didn't used to have before. You know what I'm saying? And that glossiness and that fakeness is what blind our youth. You know what I'm saying? And what blind a lot of people. And that's what we got in our music, man. We got that was the change in the music. It stopped coming from the soul, and it started coming from a more capitalistic place. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be, oh, my album sales, or oh, I did. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about like, oh, I made this music from the heart. It wasn't like, yeah, I made this album, this my new shit. Like, you know, people started to be more like, man, first week sales, oh, I outsold that person, oh, this person, that person. Like, it was like they put these corporate milestones out, but then just had rappers be the face of it. You know what I mean? And I noticed that with a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff that we do as a people, as black people and as people in general, that you look at like, why the fuck are people doing that? That's detrimental. A lot of it comes from the top, from corporations that control what we are able to see. They control our politicians and the laws they pass and all that. Like, even, for example, I'll give you this, it go into my next clip. We talked about Jody Breeze, right? And you know, him not wanting to really share this street image. What I call that shit is a plantation protocol. When you figure like you have to be what they how they see you in order to get ahead. I call that shit plantation protocol. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to Mac world. You know what I'm saying? But just like that, you know, some people they can't get rid of that, and they attach themselves to it. This woman in this next clip, you know, the whole thing, like the independent woman thing, and that's not even what my next clip is about. You know what I'm saying? So for all y'all girls out here like, here you go, suck it down, that's here you go. Nah, I ain't finna do it. But I am finna get on this chick though that abandoned her kids. But I'm gonna tell you this, right? The whole independent woman thing, that's a corporate protocol, because they want women to be more career orientated, not having families and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So the stench of corporate greed and, you know, manipulation be over. Corporate social engineering is a better way to put it. It's all over everything. And that kind of brings me to my next topic, right? Where we got a mother who had two kids she abandoned. Really, she had 3 kids. One of the kids ran away from home right before she abandoned the other 2 kids. She probably knew, like, my mama ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? And hit it up out that motherfucker. You know what I mean? But so overall, it was 3 kids she abandoned, you know, but really it was the 2 she left in the house. And while she left them in the house, she was going on Instagram. She was doing all type of stuff. This story gonna run a little bit over. I might be able to squeeze it in, but it might run a little bit over. So shout out to everybody, you know, sticking with me. Shout out to everybody that's stuck, that, you know, stuck with the all the way to the end and is checking out, you know, my content, both my boxing content and, you know, my live streams where we discuss these social topics and everything like that. If you didn't hit the like button, I'm all tongue tied and shit today, y'all. That's that Super Bowl drinking from last night. But if you haven't subscribed, welcome to Mac World. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button. I invite you to subscribe. And then if you haven't hit that like button, man, hit that like button. It's free and it helped me get in the algorithm and put more content out, you know, and reach more people. So I definitely appreciate it. All right, so check it out, y'all. This chick right here, man, abandoned these kids. And for what? Let's find out.
Where police are looking for a mother who abandoned her 12-year-old daughter along with her 3-year-old son for 2 months. An arrest warrant was issued back in early December by the Roman Forest Police Department for this woman right here. Take a good look. She is still on the run. She could be in Texas or Alabama. If you know where this woman is, please use the number below in the description to contact the authorities. All of this is for the condition that she left her kids in, the tremendous pressure that she placed on her daughter to take care of a baby all by herself, while also covering for her mother because she did not want to leave her baby brother behind. Take a second to make sure that you subscribe to the channel.
So right there, right? Shout out to Pink Book Lessons. That's the channel. That's her name, Raven Yates. But the older kid was 12, and the reason she covered for the mom was because she didn't want her and her brother to get separated because they got 2 separate dads. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how fucked up that is? Do y'all know how fucked up that is, being 12 years old, your mama abandoning you, and you really need a lot of help to run a household from day to day and to live from day to day, but you are covering for your own mother abandoning you just because you want to be able to keep a relationship with your brother. Man, that shit's sad. Any girls around? No, I can't say that on my channel because they gonna say I'm inciting violence. Any girls that know her, man, that know what she was doing, y'all should have had a real stiff talking to her. You know what I'm saying? Y'all should have had a real stiff talking to her. Anybody around her that knew what she was doing. Let's
go. Drop it below in the comments. Raven Yates, a 31-year-old mother who once said that she worked in insurance and credit repair.
I'm a licensed insurance adjuster and I own a tax company. Anyone that knows me knows I'm a woman of stature and prestige.
Is now being described as a woman who could care less about her kids and more about getting attention on IG. While away from her kids, this woman continued to post videos on social media in her Magic City uniform, looking to get attention from men. Authorities say that she totally abandoned her kids. She's been charged with 2 counts of abandonment for leaving her 12-year-old daughter and her 3-year-old son alone with no intent to return. It was the father of the 12-year-old girl who alerted police. He's living and working in California. Now get this. The father says he's been going through a custody battle with Raven over his 12-year-old daughter. And yes, isn't it amazing how they will take fathers through all of this over kids that they don't even want? Ma'am, if you didn't want your kids, why didn't you just give them to their fathers? The father contacted police back in November when he
Man, shout out to all the dads, man, out there fighting to get their kids, man, in this country where they just let the mothers do anything to the kids. Anything. And if you a good father, it don't count because you're still a man. And they know they get so much more. Like I said, the corporations, the footprint of corporations. When you got a single mother, you know it's gonna be harder on her. You got one person that gotta go into the workforce, then you got one kid that's gonna need childcare. So that's an industry right there. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to enroll in public school if you can't afford private. So you're supporting the public school system and everything. Like, it's a whole racket. A social engineering, keeping fathers out the home that works out. Because what happened when that mother start working and all that? She ain't got time to build no family or nothing. You know what I'm saying? She becomes permanently part of the workforce. Her son, a lot of parents, a lot of kids who are latchkey children come from single mother homes, end up in the system. So that works out for them too. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they out here farming us, man. They farming us. Let's go. I'm talking shit, but this shit real though. Let's go, y'all.
When he found out his daughter had been alone with her baby brother since September 28th in a Texas home that was rented by her mother. At first, he had no clue his daughter was alone because his daughter was covering for her mother. She kept telling her father that her mother was at work. She was calling her dad to order food for her that she would share with her baby brother. Then one day, the father got a call from Raven's mother, that's his daughter's grandmother, who said that she saw Raven in Mobile, Alabama, and told him that she didn't have her kids. That's when the father put two and two together and called the police. When questioned by authorities, the 12-year-old admitted to hiding the situation that she was in along with her baby brother because she was afraid that her dad would come and pick her up. The two kids, they have different fathers. Raven also has a 14-year-old daughter from another man that reportedly ran away from home just weeks before Raven left her other two kids at home alone. During their weeks alone, the 12-year-old and her 3-year-old brother had limited access to food or medicine. The only food they had was the food that the 12-year-old would get her father to order for.
That shit is so messed up. They in that crib starving, man. She got them kids up in that crib starving. Don't even care, just gone. To be gone from your own seeds you created day after day after day after day, just leaving them to fend for themselves. That's mental illness. It's like you're mentally ill, but also it's like criminal neglect though. Like, obviously they after it for criminal neglect, but like it is something wrong with you to produce something and abandon it like that. Like, you gotta have something wrong with you. And y'all know what tripped me out on this same note? Don't y'all hate girls who got kids in the system then turn around and have more kids? I hate that shit. Let's go.
And then once he figured out what was going on, her dad jumped on a plane from California and rushed to Texas to see what was happening with his daughter. He met the police at the house where the two kids were staying. That's where they found the kids had no food on the shelves or the refrigerator. The only food left in the house? Seasonings and dry beans. They also reported strong urine smells coming from the 3-year-old's room. And the 12-year-old, she was not registered for school.
A Montgomery County mother is wanted by police.
Look at these pictures of her, y'all. Look at her. She got her weave in. Hold on, let me see if I go back to that other one. All right, it's gonna go back 10 seconds. Ain't gonna let me do it.
In 2 different states tonight after investigators
look at her. Rolls out. Got her little rolls out.
Living conditions.
The 12 and 3-year-old
this shit crazy, man. It's sad. Look at that.
2 months. ABC 13's Brooke Taylor is
just
live
stuffed
outside
herself into somebody's leopard dress
Brooke?
And shit.
Yeah, all of this really hard to believe. Now, the mom left about a few months ago, but they moved into this home a year ago, and the children were never enrolled in school in Texas. So officials tell me it was really easy for all of this to just go unnoticed.
Inside this home, a nightmare for two young children, 12 and 3 years old. Roman Forest Police Chief Stephen Carlisle says they were abandoned for nearly 2 months.
There was no food in the house. Everything was empty. There was some dry beans and some spices is about it.
Their mother, Raven Yates, left them in late September, he says. There's been a warrant out for her arrest since December. Investigators say the 12
Yep, and remember we were just talking about that. Look, I done came to America and I done got called all type of African booty scratchers and all type of stuff. And did I live in a hut? It's some people in America living in brick huts. Like, you see this right here? This is a brick hut. It ain't got no, they just in the house, not doing nothing in there. If she wasn't paying the bills or nothing like that, how could she, if she not there, I'm pretty sure there ain't no way she could keep the lights and the gas on. You know what I'm saying? So they might be in there with no electricity, but let's just say this hut, this brick hut got electricity. They still in that joint with some beans and some dry spices. Shit, if I was out in the bush in Africa, at least I could go get me some damn bush meat. You know what I'm saying? They got kids living like they in the hut out in the middle of the suburbs. This look like a nice neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Kids sitting up, living up in here suffering. For what? Because they mama got the Instagram disease or something like that. Can't stop clout chasing. Let's go.
never told anyone because she was threatened by what might happen to her little brother. They have different fathers.
And she was afraid that her father was going to take her and leaving the 3-year-old by himself.
Fearful, she obeyed. She'd call her father, saying mom was working and he would send food. According to police, he's a music producer in California. He called police once family members spotted Yates in Mobile, Alabama, where she's from, without her kids.
When he got a call from his ex-mother-in-law and they put 2 and 2 together, he caught the first plane over here.
Investigators shocked to see how they were living.
The officers checked the bedroom of the children and discovered heavy urine odor coming from the 3-year-old's bed.
Yates continues to be active on social media.
Man, ooh, somebody need to rip her latest wig off. You know what I'm saying? You look at her right here, it's like she don't even look that bad either. You know what I'm saying? She ain't bad looking. None of that. But what she did to them kids, though, this hoe is a monster. Like, they always talking about, oh, this person's a monster. This hoe is a monster. She a pretty monster. You know what I'm saying? She got them kids up there starving. Her 14-year-old that ran away from home, probably living on the streets or doing whatever they got to do to survive. Then she said, you know what? That sounds like a good plan for the other 2 kids. Let me lead them to do what they got to do to survive. And man, all for what? Cause she can't, but she on Instagram, and I seen a thing on her Instagram or whatever where it was like explaining why I don't give a F and all that. So she got the attitude. It's whatever. She got all the attitude. She got the look and all that. You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, her kids sitting up eating spices and dry beans. You know what I mean? It's sad, man, and it all boiled down to, like I was talking about, that us putting our image and, you know what I'm saying, popularity before prosperity. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say that one more time. We got this issue putting popularity before prosperity. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that, you know. We got to come up out of that, man, as a people, and just start taking better care of one thing. Okay, so I will end this podcast like this for today, because this is a major thing that I really feel. We had a discussion with a lot of my family. We were together for the Super Bowl the other day, and I kind of brought this topic up, and it's something that's kind of important that I think a lot of people need to think about. We need to start thinking generational. Stop thinking so much about what you got and what you can have, and start just thinking about the next generation. You know what I'm saying? Start thinking about, you know, start thinking about your life being more than just you and your life being like your legacy being a part of it. I appreciate you, AP, man. I appreciate you checking me out, man. If you ain't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe. And I appreciate your input too, bro. We all need an accountability partner, right? But yeah, so, you know, it's just, we gotta be better about that. We gotta be better about thinking generational about ourselves and stuff like that. we in boxing, okay, I say this one last thing. We had this thing in boxing. We have an undefeated young fighter named Devin Haney and an older fighter named Bernard Hopkins. And the older fighter, you know, he been through a lot to get his undisputed or to get, you know, to get the accolades that the younger fighter had. But now he's kind of trashing the younger fighter. And we have an epidemic with that in our black community of the older black man want to see the younger black man fail. We used to have leaders that led by example, but now we got leaders that just lead by criticizing, and they try to position themselves adjacent, Willie Lynch style, to the younger generation. I told you that's just another divide the young from the old. So we have to be, if you know something, show something. You know what I'm saying? If you know something, show something or give something. I do this to try and spread the knowledge I gained, you know, from the things I've been through. And, you know, just to show an example of a black man that's, you know, accountability to his people and not afraid to be intelligent, not afraid to speak his mind and all that. You know what I'm saying? For better or for worse. My channel might not do much, but, you know, I could say if somebody look back on it and get something out of it, I kind of feel like my job is done. And on that note, appreciate all y'all checking me out, man. I love y'all. I want y'all to, man, really take some of this stuff to heart, especially for Black History Month. We get the one shortest month out the year. And not just black people, all people. You know what I'm saying? Black History Month is for everybody to learn about us and not just judge us, you know, by the way society show our image. You know, I get passionate about this stuff, like I said, so I could get a little ranty. I know I'm over a little bit. I usually try and be done by 2. I went over a little bit at the beginning. I'm going over a little bit at the end, but it's all love, man. It's all to try to, you know, educate and elevate. And yeah, I definitely appreciate y'all for checking me out and, man, just, you know, supporting the content. And, you know, with that said, shout out to all the content creators and shout out to my moderators and, you know, all the contributors. And until tomorrow, I'm out of here. So later.